Alright, so after the wild fun and craziness that was the streets of Jeddah last week, with Red Bull getting their first victory of the season, we now move into round 3, going from the Middle East into Asia in the Shanghai International Circuit for round 3 of the drivers' season for Tier 1 Season 14. This is RPL Formula 1 Season 14. We are in Shanghai. Let's get this show on the road. Ironwolf on hand for commentary tonight, and we should be having a full grid on hand for tonight. So, as everybody is getting their setups and everything figured out, let's go into some crazy motions here. Okay, so let's take a look at the results from last week, which was at Jeddah. Now, the original top 3, it was Andrea, he was the winner. Reese was in second, and Willow was in third. However, Willow wound up getting a 5-second penalty right at the end for driving too slow under the safety car restart. He was hanging around 38 to 45 miles an hour. He got penalized. That dumped him down to P9. So Fusion wind up inheriting the third place position, and that was your podium there. And you may be wondering, what happened to Cookie? Well, poor guy crashed, became the new victim of turn number 4. Well, second time it's actually occurred to him, but I digress. That does suck. But let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship. So right now, going after round 2, Andrea holds the championship lead with 37 points to his credit. Cookie is in second with 25, and Reese is in third with 24. In the constructors' standings, Red Bull has the lead with 62 points. Mercedes is in second with 54, while McLaren is sitting in third with 42. Yeah, kind of crazy to see McLaren down below in where they are. Bit wild to see that. Okay. And looks like we're looking at a possible wet race for tonight. Might be possibly, let me just double check in this one, but while we're getting that figured out, but let's take a look at our grid right now. So, Skidler's in the Mercedes, Raphael in the Ferrari, Cookie, McLaren, Torn Penguin, Aston Martin, Fusion, Red Bull, Goat Lee, Haas, Maxwell Williams, Willow McLaren, Gecko Mercedes, Night Owl on loan, he is in the Sauber, Reese and Union, Alpine, Andrea, Red Bull, Shorts. In Ferrari, Florian Rongen. Not to be confused with Florian Van Zelter. This is a different Florian. He's making his debut in the Kick Sauber. And then we have TB in Aston, Jack in V-Carb. So, currently, we have just 3 cars missing right now. We have the second V-Carb. We have the second V-Carb, the second Haas, and the second Williams missing. Second Williams was going to be Florian Van Zelter. Hopefully he'll be here. There's the second Haas of Beatnik. He has showed up. And also just a little bit ago, the second V-Carb, which was Robin Brain. He just showed up. Let's see. So yeah, Robin Brain is in the lobby. Go. Phoenix should be popping up any second, but here we go. Let's ride on board with Florian Rongen as he heads down the main straight. DRS applied, overtake applied, getting into the speed trap at about 208 into the heavy braking zone of the final corner. I believe this is turn 14. And then coming out of 15 to wrap up his time lap. This is the benchmark for the Tier 1 group. And across the line he comes. And it's a 33-3 for Florian Rongen. A lot of drivers out and about on the track currently. Hopefully, let's see what's going to be going on in this regard here. So while we're on reunion, let's see if we can find out something about with the group here. Stand by. Okay, so we have found out that Florian will be showing up in during Q2. So Florian will be starting at the back of the pack. And I did confirm with the guys in the Merc Academy server, we are looking at a full wet race. So, happy days. Looks like Raphael just went fastest for the 32-1. Robin has gone into the pits and retired. Did he have a... I don't think he had a quali ban. Not that I knew. Not that I know of. Not that I know of, but Torn Penguin goes up to third with a 33-2. Let me just make sure. Did Robin have a quali ban? I wasn't sure. Let me just make sure here. Oh yes, he did. 2 points for impeding Josh during his quali lap. Cut the entry pit lane. And 2 overtakes on their safety car. So he had 8 points. So he did have a quali ban tonight. Okay. I just had to be sure, and thank you to getting that set up. But definitely gotta say, in regards to our stewards on hand, mainly Jack, George, Josh, EXO, and a couple others being involved. Those gentlemen definitely know what is up and how they do things in regards to stewarding clips and all that whatnot. First run back, got a quali ban. yeah, you definitely had a few mistakes, Robin. I will say that truthfully, but shit happens. What could you do? Well, let's go to Maxwell. Looks like he had to back off and try again on the lap. Same with Cookie as well. He's currently going through turn 10, heading towards 11 right now. About 10th up in sector number 2. So he backed off, probably exiting out of here, trying to keep that car in control at the exit. So Florian will be joining during Q number 2, so Florian will be starting at the back of the field in 20th. Robin serving as quali ban, he'll be starting in P19, which means at the end of Q1, we'll be saying goodbye to only 3 more drivers, the 3 slowest drivers in the field. Let's take a look here as Cookie comes out of the final corner. He will be going across the line, and he will go third fastest, a 32.1. That's gonna put him. That's gonna put him just about a tenth and a half behind Willow, and nearly 3/10 behind Skither. Now let's see what Maxwell's got. As he comes across the line, and it's a 33.1 for him. That puts him in 6th place at this present time. So Skither, he believes he's done enough. I mean, a 31.8. That is extremely... That's a very quick lap. But bear in mind, these guys are going to be on wet setups here for their qualifying runs, because there is going to be a full wet during this entire race. So, fun times on hand for these boys. Oh, Reese now heading into the final corner to wrap up his qualifying lap. And he is going to be just behind Maxwell with a 33.1. So that is going to be some speculation in that regard here. So Fusion probably had a bit of a scuffed lap. He'll have to come out and try again. Currently right now, for drivers with times on board, Fusion is the slowest right now. Andrea's on an out lap. Beatnik's about to start his lap because he's right behind Gecko. There he is there. And Gecko winds up going into third fastest with a 32.0 on his part. So Beatnik is in and about on there. So Beatnik, from what we have gathered, he is going to be, for next season, is going to be planned to go to Cadillac. But the question is that with F126, there is going to be no F126 game. It's going to be an add-on DLC to this game. So my feeling is that probably what's going to happen is we're going to have our 22 cars. But problem is, it probably won't be room for a streamer to fit in. So I'm thinking probably in that situation, if it is going to be that situation, I'm guessing probably the admins, if that situation ever came about, probably the admins will be thinking, okay, if we want to put Cadillac in, what team are we going to be taking out? I mean, Cadillac is going to have a Ferrari engine, so it's either going to be Haas or Sauber that's going to get moved out of there. But then again, Sauber is going to be rebranded to Audi, so my guess is it's probably Haas is going to be shown the boot for Season 15. And Season 16 as well, because Sauber will be rebranded as Audi. We need to show Audi on hand, and Cadillac being the new team, I think that means more than likely probably Ferrari. It'll be Ferrari, Audi, and Cadillac for the Ferrari Academy, while Haas gets shown the door. I think that might be the case. Might be the case, Resilience, but I'm not really sure. I mean, we'll just have to hope and pray that frickin' EA decides, hey, we have 11 teams in Tier 1. Why don't we just up the thing to have 22 drivers and 2 spectators? But then again, we had 11 teams in F2 last couple games, and they didn't bother to extend the commentary, extend it to have 22 in the lobby and 2 spectators. They didn't extend that crap. So I think it will probably be the same with F1. Alright. Well, Andrea winds up going 6th fastest with a 32.3 for his time. Beatnik is currently the slowest, about a millisecond slower than Fusion. Speaking of Fusion, he's going into the hairpin now to wrap up his time lap. Gecko, Raphael, and Shorts have called it their 3rd, 5th, and 7th respectively. And Fusion coming across the line, much better this time, but only 8th fastest. But That said, these guys are on wet setups, so anything can possibly happen. Let's see, coding wise, it would be simple for them, so we'll expect just to have 2 extra slots. Well, fingers crossed. Well, like I said, when F2 had 11 teams, EA didn't bother to code in and say, oh, we got 11 teams in F2. Why don't we just have 22 drivers and 2 spectators? They didn't code it. We had 11 teams since 23. And it didn't happen in F1 23, didn't happen in 24, didn't happen in this game. So, I guess they probably won't do that. But then again, EA did get bought out by Saudi Arabia, so maybe Saudi will be like, hey, EA screwed up by doing this. Let's fix this for the fans. Left my rambling aside on that one. Oh, Union goes for a slide. So currently, as it sits right now, looks like our 3 slowest drivers right now is Goat Lee, Night Owl, and Beatnik. They are the 3 slowest right now. TB is at risk. Union at risk. Ranjan at risk. Those sort of guys that are more than likely at risk in that sense. Sounds like they forgot to add it to the acceptance criteria. Yeah. I mean, if there was a way we could get into EA itself and just have it coded in ourselves and all that fun jazz, that would be nice. Alright, let's go over to the newcomer, Florian Ranjan. And does his number say 75 or 76? 75, okay. Well, fitting since this is the 75th, currently this weekend and next weekend we'll wrap up the 75th Formula 1 season, 75 years. Hard to believe. Hard to believe that. 75 years for Formula 1. I love that. You know what? We have 6 people watching. We have 6 people watching, and maybe I might put something in the RPL server as well. Why don't you guys tell us what year was your first year of watching Formula 1? What was your first year? I'll easily say mine. Mine was 2003. Was my first F1 season that I've watched. Florian Ranjan didn't improve his time. He was off by about 13 thousandths of a second, unfortunately. So, he's gonna have to hope. He's just gonna have to hope that he can maintain his grip. Looks like Jack just went P10. Oh, holy crap! Q1's already done. Knows how much I pay attention. Night Owl's 13th. Here comes TB getting assistance from Torn Penguin, who's in 9th. Maxo Reese 11th and 12th. They've done enough. That's a Haas ahead. That is who's that coming across the line now? Well, TB goes up in the 9th, and Beatnik has crashed. Goat Lee has gone to 12th. Union has crashed. He's out. So there it is. So, drivers out. We lose Florian Ranjan, Union, Beatnik for the times, and Robin Brain. was had to serve a quality ban. 1994 Brazilian GP was the first race this Sacred watched. Damn. Sacred Silence, 1994 Brazilian GP. Wow. I think if I had to be more pressed than it with 2003, I know I missed the first couple races. Well, which race was it that I watched? Wasn't Imola? No, it wasn't Imola. It was... I think it was Silverstone. 2003. That was my first race that I've watched for Formula 1. Ah, gotcha. All right. Well, we're stuck in a black screen. I love black screens. Oh yeah. Yep. I did remember that, the streaker. I think I believe if it's correct, Witty, I believe that was the one where one of the commentators just goes, "Oh my goodness me, we have a lunatic on the track." Or is that the or am I thinking a different season? Anyways, Q2's on hand. Ah, okay. Okay, Savage, okay. Good to know. Good to know. Alright, so we got our drivers coming out onto the circuit. We got Jack on first, Skither right behind him. We got Raphael. Everybody's coming out. Looks like we just have 3 sitting by. That being Cookie, Andrea, and TB. Well, Skither and Jack having a little fun. Alright, well, that's right on board with Skither. As he goes through the track itself. I was slightly off. This is turn 16, but here we go. Onto the power. DRS flying in, and here we go. Up in the 8th gear, getting to around 200 miles an hour as he heads into what's essentially the snail corners. Turns 1, here's 2, into 3, and then popping out of 4 right here. Little wheel spin, exiting out of 4. Now, the little knock of 5 into the first of 2 hairpins. Turn 6. Now back up into the gears. Gets to about 7th gear. Into 7. Flat out in 7. Easing off on the throttle. A little bit of braking into turn 8. Now into 9 and 10. A little riding of the curbs in 9 and 10. Right at the curves on the exit. up through the gears, gets to high 7th gear into the braking zone turn 11. Now 12 and into the long right hand of 13. Little slip, but keeps it controlled and flying. Down the back straight, up into 8th gear. Gets to 195 at the DRS. We have 208 on the speedometer here. Gets to 208 again. Heavy braking zone to turn 14. And out of the little notch of 15. And into the final corner he comes of turn 16. And across the line he comes. And Skither, first time, it is a 32.5 for his time. And, oh, hello. Look at all this rigmarole here. Maxwell, was on top, but now Raphael is on top. Look at that. 32-1 for Raphael, and then downwards we have a 32-4 for... for Maxwell, 32.5 for Skither and Willow, 32.6 for Gecko, 32.8 for Fusion, 32.9 for Shorts. TB's just getting his lap on the board and turns out. And it looks like Florian is having an issue. Getting into the game. Apparently his game is not working again. So looks like Florian will be out, and that means that Cryptic will be filling in for Florian in the second Williams, because Florian could not get connected into the game. And in fact, he was having trouble. He's been having trouble for the last hour to get into the game itself. So that does suck for Florian. So we won't be seeing him tonight, but we will be seeing Cryptic on hand for tonight. So Cryptic will be starting in P20, Robin will be P19. That's your back row. But here we go. Cookie on an outlap. Just about to get his outlap pretty much ready to done and get himself in there. Whoa! Nice save, TB, but that definitely had to hurt him just a bit. A 33.8. That puts him in 11th, but what a nasty rear snap exiting out of that final corner. But nice save to keep that car in line. I think probably that snap, I think more than likely, oh wait, TB's 8th, I'm sorry. Why does it say he's 11th? Oh, it's Torn Penguin. Ugh! Well, it says it's a fake TB, so it starts with a T. Torn Penguin starts with a T. I get my T's crossed. Maybe I'm high. There's Cookie now. Into turns 9 and 10. Gets himself on the road. Cookie won 2 weeks ago in Bahrain. But then became the victim of turn number 4 in Jeddah, right towards the end of the race. It was the second time that it had occurred in there. And speaking of occurrences, during qualifying in Jeddah for Tier 2 yesterday, we had another turn 4 victim. This time it was Cryptic. Cryptic became the victim of the turn 4 wall. I'll have to look back at all the times that we've had drivers crash in turn in turn 4 at Jeddah. Probably have a turn 4 wall of shame, I'm gonna safely say. But Cookie puts in the smackdown and goes with a 31.7. That's about a tenth faster than Skither's Q1 time. Now, let's see if Andrea can respond. The championship leader after the first 2 races comes into the last corner. Was the winner last week in Jeddah. Was 4th in Bahrain. And he comes across the line and Jesus. Andrea's the slowest. A 34.9. I have a feeling that lap was scuffed to hell. Because, I mean, Andrea was in the top 5 in Q1. So I think he must have had a scrappish lap. Alright, let's see with Skither here as he heads into turn number 9 and 10. I believe ahead I believe that's Andrea on a cooldown, or is that Fusion up ahead? Ah, it's Fusion. Alright, so we'll see how Fusion and Skither handle on their new laps. As we hear that those RPMs roaring for Skither, getting it down and flying into the last couple of corners we go. Let's see where Fusion is going to wind up. Fusion promoted to 3rd last week. And here we go across the line. Fusion goes 2nd with a 32.0. And yeehaw! 31.4 for Skither. Gorgeous stuff. Alright, so currently right now we have our bottom 5 right now. It is Andrea, Night Owl, Goat Lee, Torn Penguin, and Reese. Those are your bottom 5. With 4.5 minutes to go, we'll have to wait and see what we're gonna get out of this group here. So, we got Willow just going into the final corner now. There's Shorts dead ahead of him in the 8th place position. Shorts comes across the line, and oh, so Shorts goes into 3rd fastest with a 31.995. Willow invalidated it out of the final corner. And had that lap stuck, he would have been P5. Was a 32.049, which was 3 milliseconds slower than Fusion's time. Alright, so let's take a gander at Gecko. Comes out of the final corner, and across the line he will come. And he goes up to 3rd fastest. Willow in trouble now, because he's getting close to that bottom pile. But here's the thing: between Willow and TB right now, it's about 0.8 of a second is the gap. Now I believe Willow will have enough time to get into the pits, quickly get onto a new set, and then get back out there and get a lap in. I think he should have enough time. I mean, it's gonna be cutting kind of close. It's gonna be pretty close for Willow. Let's see what Goat Lee, as he heads into the Sector 2 split, 0.2 up in the second sector. That's going to put him just ahead of Torn Penguin, but he'll still be in the bottom 5 at this present moment. He needs to get at least 6/10 in order to challenge for the top 10 here as he heads into the heavy braking zone of turn 14 to wrap up on his time lap and across to the final corner he comes. Where will he go? Shorts thinks he's done enough. He's definitely going to be through. Shorts up to P9. 1.1 seconds up. So he is in good shape. Willow, I think, yeah, Will's just coming out. I hope he has enough time. I think he might be out of time. Torn Penguin up to P9 now. Alright, let's see what's Andrea here. Let's see, looks like Raphael's in the final corner. 59 seconds. Oh, Willow's not making it. Willow's out of time. Yeah, Willow ain't making it. Oh. Man, oh man. So I think Will's just gonna have to hope and pray now. He has a 32.5, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Max on P7, so he should be safe. Here comes Andrea. Cross the line he comes. He goes 5th. Goat Lee is out. Ooh, Torn Penguin went pretty wide. Oh wait, he's on cooldown. Yeah, so Goat Lee is out. TB. Here he comes across the line. He goes 8th. Uh-oh. Well, let's see. Jack is improving. Night Owl. Oh my goodness. Let's see with Night Owl. Are we looking at the upset of the freaking century here? Night Owl 12th, so he's out. So Torn Penguin out. Night Owl out. Goat Lee's out. Oh boy. So, is Reese or Jack gonna be looking at the upset? Or looking at extreme upsets? Here we go. Into the final corner. A mismanagement of timing on Will's part. Is this gonna cost him? Here we go. Reese across the line. He's done it. Willow is out. Jack 14th. So, holy cow. By a 10.5, Reese is through to Q3. Willow eliminated. So Goat Lee, Jack, Night Owl, Penguin, and Willow out in Q2. Skither, Cookie, and Raphael, the top 3. That is our first major upset of Season 14. Willow, out. So here's your top 10. We have Skither, Cookie, Raphael, Gecko, Shorts, Andrea, Fusion, TB, Maxwell, and Reese. That is your top 10. And who will be battling it out for pole position. And you know what? I think I'm gonna say that Skither will probably be the one for pole. I think he might be the one to get pole position. Alright, so we're at it for Q3, and everybody is out and about onto the circuit to get the fastest time possible, and everybody is just bunching up, choosing the right moments, waiting for the right time, and looks like Cookie is going to be the first fighter in this group. And here we go, starting it off with Cookie, little snap over out of the final corner. And let's see what happens as we go into these corners here. So Cookie looking to go for a major pole position here, and looking to put an exclamation point on his mark. So here we go. Into 9 and 10 goes Cookie. Reese has bailed back to the pits. Not sure why. Not sure why he backed off. So here goes Cookie into the back straight. And here we go. Into the heavy braking zone goes Cookie for the benchmark. And across the line he will come. That's a 31-3 for Cookie, 31-7 for Fusion, 31-6 for Shorts. Raphael 31-4. Gecko 31-5. Andrea, he'll come across for a 31-9. Skither 31-6 puts a dead on to Shorts' time. TB 33-3 for his time. Let's see what Maxwell has on hand. Reese on his outlap. Into the braking zone goes Maxwell. Let's see what kind of a lap he is going to bang out on his repertoire. And Maxwell goes 8th with 32-3. Now, Maxwell, by the way, we should note, is currently 8th in the championship, in the Drivers' Championship right now, with 12 points to his name. So, 12 points for Maxwell. All those points came from his P4 finish in Jeddah last week. And speaking of results, speaking of Jeddah, that's where Tier 2 was yesterday. That race was won unofficially by Lennon. Second was Night Owl, and third place was Josh 433. And then Tier 3, back on Thursday, they were at Spain. That race was won by Neymar, with Dylan in second, and Scorenzi was in third. Nope. Now, Tier 2 and Tier 3 results, those are unofficial right now in the event that, say, these individuals get any penalties on their name or anything of that sort. So, one driver left to get a time onto the board, that being Reese, coming into the last couple of corners now. He just squeaked into P10 in Q2, knocking out his teammate of Willow, and across the line comes Reese, and he's ninth fastest with a 32-4. I'll be right back in just a second. Okay, so we're back in it. Drivers out and about trying to improve their laps and get the most out of the car before everything's all said and done. 2.5 minutes to go. The rain has showed up right at the end of the qualifying. Here comes Cookie into the last corner to improve his time. The answer is yes, a 31.236. Fusion could not improve. Skither's just starting his lap. Shorts not improving on his time. TB comes up. He goes ninth. Reese is out. Maxwell's out. So Reese will be starting in P10. TB will be P9. Maxwell in P8. Gecko has himself a third. Raphael invalidated out of the final corner. Let's see, it would have been, wouldn't have improved anyways. He was down by a 10th. So, that means as it sits, only 2 people can upend Cookie's time. Well, unfortunately, Skither not improving at all. He's behind by over 3/10. He's sliding. I think the track is too wet. I think the track is too wet. Yeah, he can't get grip out of the corner. I think it's over. It is over. Oh yeah, definitely over. So Cookie will secure pole position. Raphael in second. Gecko third. Shorts 4. And Skither will have to settle for 5th. But that is it. So Cookie gets pole position. And oh man. And there it is. So Cookie pole by a quarter of a second over Raphael and Gecko. And then Shorts and Skither with the exact same time. Very solid stuff. Alright, there's the wet conditions on hand. But we'll have to wait and see which tire will be the best. But anyways, here's the recap of the grid here. So front row, it is Cookie and Raphael. Then we have Gecko and Shorts making up row 2. Skither and Fusion in row 3. Andrea and Maxwell row 4. TB and Reese row 5. Willow and Torn Penguin row 6. Night Owl and Jack making up row number 7. Then we have Goatly and Florian Ronjan in row 8. Union and Beatnik in row 9. And the back row is Robin and Cryptic. And looks like we have a mixture. Looks like we're going to have a mixture on hand of wets and inters. But the question is, what will be the best tire for this track? There we go, the 5 lights to kick off the wet Chinese GP of RPL. And lights out and off we go. Slow and trembling goes the field. Raphael gets a better launch over Cookie, heading into turn number 1. Into there, but Cookie swings back over. We got a collision. Off goes a Red Bull. Off goes a McLaren. A Haas in the background. Ooh, contact. Ooh, baby. High octane bashing, bumping, binging, banging. Cookie goes off into the gravel. My God. The track is just getting wackadoo. Oh! Skither gets bumped by Cookie, gets sent wide. Skither lost a position or 2. Skither reclaims his spot back. Probably Cookie felt bad for hitting the back of him. But I think the wet compound is the choice here, because the guys on the interns are struggling. The Ferraris have taken off. More slinging and slanging over here. As Florian's Ronjan gets past, there's Fusion way in the back. And down in 16th. Contact between Goatly and Night Owl. Contact again. Contact. Hello, more contact. Bumping and bonking. Torn Penguin there. There's Night Owl there. 3 wide. You gotta be kidding me. Whoa, shit, Night Owl. Look at this war zone here. Warzone in the back of the field. Willow trying to make a move on Robin. Robin goes wide, but Willow gives plenty of room and moves in and goes up into 9th. Going to make a move on TB for the 8th position. Takes the risk and gets the position. Here comes Florian Ronjan. Little contact. But Ronjan trying to make the move stick here, and Ronjan is just fighting here. I think the wets are definitely the better compound. And slingshot into the position. In a position goes Ronjan. He gets the move done into 8th place now. Let's take a look at the graphic everybody's on. So, Raphael as Ronjan battling with Maxwell. Another inter guy being vulnerable to the wet tire. And, whoa, holy crap. That was scary. That was scary. But Ronjan up in the 7th. But yeah, so Raphael, Shorts, Ronjan, Robin, and Beatnik on the wet compound tires, and the wets, these guys are getting pretty favored here. right on board with Willow as he works on Robin for the 9th place spot, but we keep it. Robin sends a shot deep inside. And contact between TB and Willow. The Inter boys bumping and banging. Yeah, this is definitely... I'll have to wait and see here. Cookie has the fastest lap on those Inters. And that was a ghosting moment for TB. As Jack gets by him, Robin Brain getting past Maxwell for the 8th place position. Well, let's take a look at the best lap. So the fastest lap right now is Cookie with a 52.8. Shorts just behind, about a 10th back. That's the way the fastest lap is right now. Not much action towards the front of the field. Everybody's pretty spread out. But we have this 5-car brawl, 48th place position. Robin Brain, Maxwell, Willow, Jack, and TB involved. Cryptic, Fusion also getting involved too. They're catching in. So right on board with Jack. Looking at rear camera. There's TB right behind. There's Cryptic and Fusion coming into play too. But the wets seem to be favoring some of the guys on the wets. They are being favored here because look at this. Raphael 2.8 seconds clear of Gecko right now. Speaking of movements here, as Cookie going down the inside against Gecko, bump between the two, but up in the 3rd will go Cookie at this moment. Willow just got past Maxwell for the 9th place position. Shorts has the fastest lap, and Cookie responds by a 10th of a second there. Here comes Jack in the inside against Maxwell, side by side. A little touching and bumping, but all safe haven here. 3 wide between the 3 of them. Who's gonna blink first? Looks like TB will blink first and back off. And oh, contact between TB and Jack. Red Bull Academy teammates bumping and bashing wheels. And Cryptic looking to take advantage to try to get himself into the 12th place position, but nothing materializes off of this. Maybe not. Oh, Cryptic way too deep. Cryptic just overshot it completely. Oh my god, another 3 wide. Cryptic overshot, got past 1, completely locked up, hit Jack. I mean, that was a complete mistake on Cryptic's part. Jack got messed up just a little bit. I mean, like I said, that was just a complete mistake on that part there. But there's Beatnik trying to make a move on Fusion for the 14th position, but can't seem to get the move to stick and move and go into there. Ferrari still holding together. They're currently 1 and 2 right now. Cookie dropped the gap by about 5/10 on those last 2 laps after getting past Gecko. So we have completed lap 4, and there's a battle down the inside between Reese and Goat Lee. That's for the 16th place position, and Reese is in there. And everybody is just spreading out into their own world here as Goat Lee goes extremely wide. Night Owl almost loses it. But here we go. So let's take a look at our positions gained and lost right now. Our biggest gainer is Robin. Quali band to P8 right now on those wet tires. Florian Ranjan is also and Cryptic also made big gains. They have gained 9 positions. Florian starting in P16, Cryptic in dead last. But our biggest loser, sadly, is Fusion, losing 8 spots since the opening lap, but he did have that tangle early on at the start in turn 1. So, like I said, here's the tires again for those that have not seen them. So Beatnik, Florian Rongen, Robin, Raphael, and Shorts on the wet compound tires, and the way it is seeing, looks like the wet tires are in good favor for the drivers. Now Cookie seems to be gaining ground on Shorts at this present moment. Gets a little snappy out of there. And looks like, let's see what we got here for our next lap. As everyone gets some laps put in here, let's take a look. So Cookie's last lap was a 51.9, 52.4, and 52.3. So Cookie about 0.3 of a second faster, about 0.4 faster than Shorts, and 0.5 second 0.4 faster than Raphael, 0.5 second faster than Shorts. So maybe the inters maybe the switch has happened, and the inters are back in working order again. And Gecko did set the fastest lap with a 51.7. Goat Lee, by the way, is in the penalty box for too many track limits. And speaking of track limits, anybody in that one? Holy crap, a whole shitload of collisions. Shitload of collision warnings here. Looks like Cookie has one. So it looks like for track limits, Fusion has one, Cookie has one, Robin's got one, Night Owl with one, Go Lee's got 3. Cookie right on the tail of both Ferraris. Just navigating and working it. As these rain conditions are going to be full send here. There comes Cookie. Is he making a move? Yes, he is. He's looking for a move on the outside. As Union goes for a spin out in turn 9. Crossover between Cookie and Shorts. But Shorts maintains the position. And Willow successfully gets past Robin. Andrea goes into the grass. Looks like Willow had to go the long way around, just like his teammate did. But Willow up into 8th place and sets the fastest lap now. It's right on board with Andrea as he's chasing Skither down. This is for the P5 spot. Jack gaining close on Cryptic for P11. Seeing it on the map, seeing it on the timing scores here, but let's see if Andrea's looking to make a gamble. He thought about it, but changed his mind, and we'll stay behind Skither for 6th right now. Union has gone into the pits. I wonder if he got damaged early on in that incident. Well, let's see. Here he is. And yes, he is going to get that wing replaced. Now, what tires is he going on? He's going onto the wet compounds. So Union want to hope for a full reset the way his race has gone so far. Let's see if Cookie is willing to make another move to get into that 2nd place position. This time going on to the inside. Oh, whoa! Lockup, rear lockup. And that's a mistake from Cookie. That allowed Gecko to take the 3rd place spot. Actually, Cookie is looking to get back in the 3rd. But he lost a lot of time there. He thought about it, but then thought about going for the inside, then switched back, and then that rear just locked up. And that was the end of that one. Willow, by the way, just got past Ranjin for... Willow just got past... Oh, that's because Ranjin and Robin are in the pits already. Let's see what's going on with these two. These two are on the wets. And they've gone to the inters. So that means we should be seeing the front two. We should be seeing the front two shortly. Union in trouble again. Some of that mini straightaway between 10 and 11. So some of the guys on the wets are already coming in and getting off of them. That means we'll be seeing the front two, the Ferraris. They should be coming in. Well, one of them should be coming in this time, the other next lap. But the question is, who will be going in? Will it be Shorts or will it be Cookie? Not Cookie, or will it be Raphael? That was actually a good question. Looks like a battle for the 15th between Goatly and Torn Penguin in turn 9. And Torn Penguin maintained that 15th place position. But we'll have to wait and see which one of the guys on the wets is going in first. And safety car! Well, this is gonna be helpful. This will be helpful. How did we get a safety car? I mean, Union went into the pits. And then the safety car just came out. Did Union crash going into the pits? And that's why we have the safety car out. Is that why? That's my best. That could be my guess. Perhaps. Oh! Goatly and Torn Penguin just crashed going into the pits! Huh. Oh. Oh, that was interesting. But, I mean, that safety car did kind of help Raphael and Shorts out, because they came out in 4th and 6th, respectively. So now, as it sits, so those that have not come in, we have Cookie, Gecko, Skither, and Cryptic. They have not come in yet. So, for a reset, Cookie is your leader right now, Gecko 2nd, Skither 3rd, Raphael 4th, Cryptic 5th, Short 6th, Andrea 7. Okay. You just got DQ'd. Okay, didn't expect that. I was like, wait a minute, why did Union get a penalty? So I see in the hairpin he was trying to pass the safety car. And I got DQ'd. Okay. Well, Gecko's coming back out from his stop. He's going to be in P8. But yeah, so Cookie is your leader, Skither 2nd, Raphael 3rd, Cryptic 4, Shorts 5, Andrea 6, Willow 7, Gecko 8, Ronjin in 9, and Robin in 10th. Then the rest of the field, it is Maxwell, Jack, Fusion, TB, Reese, Night Owl, Torn Penguin, Beatnik, and Goatly. That is our top 10. That is our field. Union DQ'd. So, should be seeing the safety car coming in either this time by our next... I think it's probably going to be next lap. So, let's see what happens here. Well, Union is out after getting DQ'd. So, joyful stuff in that regard. Alright, safety car coming in. So let's ride on with Skither as he navigates to get up to par. Cookie hanging around 57. Let's see what will happen here. Oh, Skither ghosted. That might not be good. That should be okay, actually. Oh, he's taking off! He's taking off into the final corner. And off we go, back into it. We will be underway here. See, Alex is out of the final corner. Cookie, whoa, Jesus, Cookie. Trying to not wreck it, but we're back underway here in China. Any movements going towards the back? No, nobody at this present moment. Everyone's just cycling and filing into place. Cryptic currently holding the field back as Raphael, Skither, and Cookie are off and away here. Raphael in pursuit of Cookie and Skither here. Heading into turn number 4. Cryptic covers the inside. Corny effect bumping and bonking. Robin on the inside of Florian Rongen. Side-by-side action between the two. Florian just trying his best to try to keep him back, but just can't seem to get a move on here. And speaking of which, Short's getting a move on against Cryptic. Gets ahead and in the 4th. Andrea trying to follow suit in 5th to go for 5th, but can't seem to get it done. Can he? Yes, he can now. In the 5th goes Andrea. Now Willow behind. Hopefully Cryptic might move out of the way, let his Academy teammates through. Willow behind, Gecko behind him too. Willow with a snap. Looking to go inside against Cryptic. And in there goes... Oh, Maxwell deciding to psych Jack out. But Jack not phased at all. Looks to move. And he's in to there. But what's going towards the front of the field? Skither at risk against Raphael. Raphael trying to make a move. But can't seem to make it stick at this present moment. Gecko right behind Cryptic for the 7th place position. And having to go a bit long way around, but can't seem to make that move go at this present moment. No movements from the back of the field currently either. And now Raphael trying to stay in tune. Whoa, almost snapped it. In the braking zone to turn number 6. But keeps it together. Fusion getting past Maxwell for the 12th place position. Right on with Andrea as he is chasing Shorts down for the 4th place position. Now, unless they can make those tires go to the end, I don't think they can. But Cookie, Skither, and Cryptic will have to stop at some point in this race. When though, not sure. Andreas trying to keep grips on his tires. But loses tabs on the group ahead at this moment. Meanwhile, Gecko on the outside of Cryptic swings it, crossover, and ahead he will go. Cryptic's actually trying to fight Gecko here. Cryptic holding his own, and and Gecko is getting hindered over. Gecko trying to get past, but Cryptic is not giving him anything. He's still fighting him. Jack fighting with Fusion. There's Robin as well. Jack goes backwards just a tiny bit. And Gecko finally clears Cryptic. But I think Gecko would have been like, I would have been past a couple laps ago, and Cryptic did not hold me up. Now Gecko over 2 seconds behind the next car of Willow, who's trying to eyeball Andrea for the 5th place position. Ooh, snappy snap! Snaps on that regard, but Willow hanging on and sitting in the 6th place position. Looking for the back, looks like Night Owl is under threat from Penguin. Reese trying to put some pressure on TB. Beatnik in the penalty box now. Maxwell trying to eyeball Robin for 12th. No movement from the front pack. No movement from the front pack at this moment, but let's switch over to Robin, battling with Maxwell. Down the inside he went, and he maintains the 12th place over Maxwell. And the battle is still going on. This time it's TB putting pressure on Maxwell now. Right on board with TB. Keeping it in there. Meanwhile, let's go a little further up. There's Florian Rongen battling with Fusion for the 9th place position. Fusion trying to recover off of that lap 1 dilemma, and still battling it out, and Fusion gets back in the 9th. Ferrari switching. Interesting. Ferrari switched up. Raphael now in 3rd, Shorts in 4th. This is an interesting. This is an interesting decision here between the Ferrari pair. Both of them looking for a potential run to go at the guys ahead. Let's see, down the inside. Whoa! Andrea gets a little too crazy. Almost went into disaster. Florian Vangen battling with Jack. And Jack gets 10th place position. We just lost Beatnik. Reese getting past Robin Burning for the 14th position. Let's try to get Beatnik back. I think his internet just conked out completely. It says he's offline. But we'll see in that regard. But let's see what Andreas got. Is he gonna make the move? No, he's still staying with Shorts and Raphael. Almost close to contact. Right on with Andreas. Getting a little slidey. Exiting out of the corner. A little slidey again out of 8. And the Ferraris goes inside each other. That was a lag spike on Raphael's part. Oh! Power failure! That's why Beatnik's out. Beatnik has disconnect. That's the reason Beatnik disconnected. Power failure at his house. That sucks. Well, the gap between Raphael and Cookie right now, 5.3 seconds. Raphael's lagging just a little bit. Let's just hope that doesn't screw him up too badly here into the braking zone. Both Ferraris under threat from Andrea and Willow. Gecko involved too. Cryptic holding Fusion back for the 8th place position. Nothing coming up from this group yet. And Fusion pretty much has burned through all of his ERS availability. And Willow just got past Andrea in turn 2. I think Andrea must have had a nasty slide and must have had a slide just like what Gecko just did coming out of 3. And that's allowed Andrea to take it. That's what allowed Willow to take full advantage and get past Andrea to get himself into P5. Now Willow's going to be chasing down both the Ferraris now. Yeah, Shorts, a former Academy teammate, but there's a lag again from Raphael. Raphael is having an issue here this race. So Willow trying his best to keep up with the group. So, I mean, I think Skither and Cookie should be coming in pretty soon. So even with the safety car, I really don't think these guys will have the capabilities to go to the end of the entire race on these inters. I don't think it's possible. We'll have to wait and see in that regard. But Cookie is still out on track. Gecko making a move on Andrea. They're side by side out of that last corner. Cookie sets the fastest lap right now. Andrea still maintains the lead over Gecko. Goes wide out of the final corner. This is going to open up the opportunity. Gecko on the inside into turn 1. Little rubbing, but they keep it going. Meanwhile, Jack gets ahead of Cryptic for 9th place. So this is... We'll have to wait and see as everybody goes into positions here. Let's go to this back batch of cars here. Florian Ranjan right behind Cryptic for the 10th place position. We're on board with Maxwell in 12th. So that's the cars ahead of him. Now, Cookie about 5 seconds clear of Skither at this moment. 6 seconds clear of Raphael right now. Almost 7 seconds clear of Shorts. Cryptic with a slide out of 9. Bit of some sliding out of everybody here. Goat Lee gets himself a second track limit penalty. And looks like Robin just got off of the tires he was on previously. He just got off of the inters he was on, and Anto News said, "Hello, that's Cryptic that got extremely wide." So Robin was on the wet tires to begin with. As Maxwell goes down the inside against Florian Ranjan for the 11th place position, and he gets it, and ahead he goes. And Cryptic is still staying out on the track. Meanwhile, Willow looking to put some added pressure onto Shorts right now for the 4th place spot. Now, Robin will be going into his second lap. I know Robin started on the wet tires. Let's take a peek here. So he was 8 laps on that. This and this is his 2 laps. So he went 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. Went 9 laps on those inters before going to a new set of inters. Skither starting to lose tabs on Cookie. 5.6 seconds behind. Meanwhile, Raphael is up on his back end, looking for a move up for second place. Does complete drift throughout 13. Goes Skither. And they're both tearing into their ERS availability. And Raphael closer, can't seem to decide. Makes the decision too late. Both Skither and Raphael, they made contact. They both gone very wide. And shockingly, no damage. No damage for Raphael. But Skither lost quite a lot of momentum. He's down in 5th place. Oh, the Mercedes made contact! Holy shit. That was so scary. Skither and Gecko made contact. Gecko almost went adios into the wall. Oh my god. That's a heart attack moment right there. Whew, that was a heart attack and a half. But yeah, we were on board with Raphael, and Skither he didn't know where Skither was going to go. Raphael went to the left, but then changed his mind at the last possible second to go right, and that's why the two made contact. And Skither's starting to struggle pretty badly. Meanwhile, the Williams switch up. Maxwell and Cryptic in the switch up for 10th. My god. But Skither is struggling really badly. Are those inters dead and done? I'm thinking it might be, because Andrea is going past and into 5th. Goes Andrea over Skither. So I think the inters for the guys that start on them, which is Cookie, Skither, and Cryptic. I think those inters are dead. Skiller just reclaimed the 5th place position over Andrea. But he has no energy available on him. Same with Andrea, he doesn't have anything. Gecko, though, I think he does that move. Ooh, contact. And Gecko up in the 5th now. Andrea following suit. Side by side, bumping and banging between the two Mercedes and the Red Bull. They're just trying to keep it together here. As Andrea is still side by side with Skiller, heading into the braking zone of turn 6, and Andrea gets the position and reclaims, well, was where he was originally in 6th. Gecko gets a 2 for 1 in the 5th. Skiller falls off and is in 7th. Well, maybe not. Skiller was thinking of a lunge on Andrea, but nothing out of that. Let's go to Willow currently chasing Raphael down for the 3rd place spot. Now, I believe Willow has seen the lag spikes that Raphael had earlier on in the event. So he's just gonna have to hope that nothing happens out of that one. Robin has cut a corner in turn 7 and got himself a penalty for that. But Willow up the back end of Raphael, trying to get him to make a mistake, trying to goad him into a mistake. But the Ferrari's holding true at this time. And Cookie is still got his old tires. His tires are still good. Will's gonna have to be careful while battling it off with Andrea. With Raphael. Raphael has plenty of ERS available on him, but he may not be wanting to. Some contact between the two. And Raphael shrugs off the attack and keeps going. Willow went for a dive in turn 6, made contact with Raphael, but Raphael still kept the position and barely lost any time at all. Barely lost any time. Robin is into the pits. Getting off of those inters again. I think he must have had a bad setup. Possibly. You know, how in the world are these guys still going? Cookie, Skither, and Cryptic. They have not stopped. They are on the tire that they have started since the start of the event, and they're still going. I mean, those tires are definitely... I mean, then again, with the safety car in there, they've probably done 17 laps of racing on those tires. They're probably in the 60s right now, maybe close to the 70, possibly. But Willow, got the successful move on Raphael and is up into 3rd place. Now he has Shorts to hunt down to get himself in the 2nd. I'm thinking, is it maybe with the safety car? With the safety car that happened, maybe it's possible that Cookie, Skither, and Cryptic have decided because of the safety car, they were on the track for like 3-4 laps. Ooh, slide by Willow. Trying to keep it together. TV just passed Cryptic for the position. Fusion down the inside against Skither. And gets the position for an 7th. But Skither fighting back, though. Contact. Cryptic into the penalty box now. And Fusion fends off the retaliation from Skither and gets in the 8th now. But yeah, like I was saying, I think for Cookie, Cryptic, and Skither, they're probably just gonna go the entire race on the inters that they are on because of the amount of laps that they went on those tires. I mean, and bear in mind, at least 4 of those laps they were on their safety car. So Cookie going into this corner now will be entering, I believe it's going to be his 19th lap on that set, racing laps on those tires. Looks like Jack is trying to eye up Skither for a position. Running on board with Jack as Reese gets past Cryptic for the 12th place position, seeing it on the map there. Jack trying to get himself into a nice position to get ahead of Skither here. Cryptic losing another position, this time to Torn Penguin. Night Owl there as well, and could be going in for that for the 14th place position too. Jack currently not close enough to eyeball an opportunity to get himself into 8th place right now. Cryptic is still going on those tires. Still nothing as of yet. Down the inside goes Night Owl. A snap over and a late break for both of them. But let's go into this moment here. Well, maybe not. Let's switch over to Jack. Jack close. Pretty close, but no dice at this moment. But let's switch to Willow and Shorts. On board with Shorts. Rear camera. There's Willow. Gaining. Where will he make the move? Is he going to make any move? No movement there from either one of them, but maybe not. Willow looking for a shot. No side by side. A little aquaplane moment there between the two. Meanwhile, Jack on the inside, lock up, a bit of a curveball there. Oh, Lord. Contact between Jack and Skither. Skither almost got spun out. And because of that little high-octane clash, I just missed Willow overtaking Shorts for the 2nd place position. Jack reclaims 8th over Skither. Shorts thought about it down the inside, but Willow scouts it and keeps the spot. Talk about a nice recover for Willow here. Started in 11th, recovered up to 2nd, and unless a disaster hits Cookie, Willow could be looking at a win here. I mean, Cookie's just still going on those tires. I mean, Cookie's just gone the entire race on that set. Cryptic has finally pitted, by the way. Just seeing that on the map there. Just realized I had that whole demo on this whole time. Meanwhile, looks like another Merc Academy driver looking for a move. There's Gecko looking for a move on Raphael. Robin is out. He is done. So that's a retire in the pits for him. Cryptic got off of the tires, gone 24 laps total. 23 laps total on those inters, 19 laps of racing on those tires. The lead with another penalty on hand. Skither's still going. Cookie's still going. They have not pitted yet. They still have not pitted. Next time by, we're going to be on 2 to go. Willow looking to trying to make a miracle happen. TB losing the position of Reese. That's for the 12th place spot. Gecko trying to catch with Raphael. TV reclaims the spot over Reese. Just can't seem to find any momentum here at this present moment. But coming up to 2 to go. Coming up to 2 to go very shortly. Cookie still maintains the lead over Willow. Skither has gone down to 9th place. Gecko trying his best. He wants to go for a chance to get go for it to get himself into 4th place, but just can't seem to find the right momentum enough to make that happen. And I've just been informed by our stats nerd that if Shorts does hold as he sits and gets 3rd place, this will be his first Tier 1 podium ever. And if Cookie, if his tires does not blow up, this is going to be win number 35 for Cookie. Yes, this will be win number 35, and this will put him one behind 2nd place in the all-time win board for Tier 1. Cryptic sets the fastest lap. Gecko even closer now to Raphael. Let's see if Gecko can do anything out of this. He's still trying to put that pressure on. And we have entered the final lap, sponsored by Lenovo. Gecko still can't seem to get the right momentum and go for that shot on Raphael at this moment. So Gecko is really going to have to think of something out of the box in order to go for that shot into 4th for him. Reese, by the way, fending off Night Owl for 13th. Skither getting closer to Jack to try to reclaim 8th place back. Andrea now looking for something. Beatnik looking to go a lap down by Cookie. Reese gets past TB for 12th. Oh, wait! Oh, wait, never mind. Cookie is past Beatnik. Cookie is past Beatnik to get him lapped. But let's get a quick moment on this. This is a battle here. Hard to believe that Cookie went the entire race on those inters. Andrea dive bombing for the move. Oh, locked up and can't get it done. Cookie comes across, wins in China. Not sure what Andrea did. Not sure on that move, but Willow gets 2nd. Shorts, first Tier 1 podium. He's in 3rd. Andrea was a little desperate for that attack on Gecko. He went for the shot and then just locked up and came to a complete stop on Gecko. Fusion, 7th. Oh my god! Skither just... Oh, Skither... Oh, that's what happened. Skither... Well, Skither was 9th. So he will get the position back. Not sure why he just did that. He just DNET and left the session after crossing the line. So... But he will get that position back. Jack is in 8th. Skither 9. Maxwell in 10th place. Oh, I think honestly, so Cookie gets another. Gets the spot and ahead. So Cookie, win number 35 for him. Celebration on hand. Cookie, the winner. Willow, 2nd. And Shorts, 1st podium ever for him. And driver today was given to Willow. Cookie winner and all that. There it is. Let's get the demographic here for their 28.6. So yeah, Skither will be back in 8th place here. So yeah, Cookie your winner, Willow 2nd, Shorts 3rd, Raphael 4, Gecko 5, Andreas 6, Fusion 7, Jack 8, Skither 9, and Maxwell will be 10th place. I need to know how I want to know how worn his tires were. High 50s. What? Bullshit! Bullshit! There's no way. There's no way. High 50s, low 60s. There's no way. You fucking with me, right? My God. All right. So, so driver today. I mean, the game gave it to Willow. Game gave it to Willow. But I mean, it's a toss up. It's gonna be a toss up. I think it's both McLarens have earned that honors. I mean, Cookie went the entire race on the inters and didn't get it. And didn't get it done. Yeah, he wanted to gain the entire race on that set of inters, and that was it. But Willow went from P11 to getting 2nd. Oh. But yeah, so that will conclude the stream here for tonight. So let's go into next week's races for
tiers. So, round 4, tier 3 will be at Saudi Arabia for their counter. Tier 2 will be at Spain for their 4th round. And tier 1 next week will be at Japan, Suzuka Circuit, for next week's race. Well, let's see. One last thing I'll have to say here. I'm gonna say for driver today, it's gonna be between the two McLarens, but I'm gonna have to figure out what that is. But for RPL lights out, who was the best and who was the worst? Green light goes to the McLaren team, with Willow's recovery drive from P11 to P2, solid work, and Cookie managing the entire race on those set of inters and did pretty dang good. Yellow light for Skither. Tires started to fall off right towards the end, and he was just getting treated like a pinball and a pinball machine. But that was unfortunate for him. And red light and fail of the day is gonna go to Union. Didn't realize that you can't unlap yourself and wound up getting yourself disqualified, learning it the hard way. But from RPL, Tire 9 will signing off. Goodbye, and we will see you next week.